Qapla!
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail heroic. Oh, that's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
You come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. Here to make war, we surrender. Falsehood. Important things are needing new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. That means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest. With a special pride never written before. Or sings tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Birdo Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Birdo Prey 5 Qapla, and welcome to my review of Star Trek Discovery, Season 4, Episode 5, The Examples. And due to a weird turn of events today, this is going to be a live review of the episode. Thank you, The Random Menace, for the €2 super chat. And says, my comment comes first. Greetings from the future. Indeed it does. Indeed it does. And I'm sorry I'm late. I do want to go back and do one more comment. Thomas Potts asks, are you feeling better? Thomas, I wasn't feeling bad. It was that my doctor called this morning and says, hey, you know, after that test we did yesterday, turns out you do have a blood clot and you need to go directly to the emergency room. And I was like, oh, fuck, because today is Mamo Prey's birthday. And while going directly to the emergency room is not something either of us wanted to do, obviously. But then I spoke to a different doctor who said, absolutely don't go to the emergency room. It's just a blood clot. It can be treated at home with blood thinners. She said, do you know how many people have COVID out there right now? Anyway, she works in a hospital. So I put a little more credit to her, and we were waiting on her to call back with some blood thinners. So we're hopefully be able to get this treated at home. And I do have a filter that they put in many years ago for blood clots, but so hopefully between the two we'll be okay. Anyway, Qapla all, and I will get back to the comments after we are done with the review. So this is The Examples, Season 4, Episode 5. Let me get this loaded up in a second window here. Let's see. Season 4, Episode 5. Okay. Let's see how we're going to do this. Share screen. Okay. And let's see. I'll bring this up and open this. Open with VLC. Okay. Okay, so we have a 51-minute episode, not counting the last time on Star Trek. The episode opens with the USS Janeway. The USS Janeway is apparently there it is. There's the USS Janeway, this ship with this big center ring. And then we've got the USS T'Pol, both well-known females, women of Trek history. Both have their ships. Anyway, apparently the DMA, which is what they call this space anomaly, it just disappeared. It just disappears from space. And so Jet Reno's in this episode. The first episode this season, Jet Reno is back. Yeah. So here's what happens. This anomaly, the DMA, completely disappears and then comes back 1,000 light years away 4 seconds later. They now determine that since it can't be natural, it had to have been created, which means that now they're living in a world where somebody created this. And Streamlabs reports John D just tipped $5. And I have to open that. I am so sorry, John DeMarco or John D. That was the one thing I didn't open because I just wasn't ready. John D says, "Happy birthday, Mamo Pray," with a $5 donation. Thank you. It is Mamo Pray's birthday today, and she's had a rough day. She's had a rough one. I appreciate it. I'm not putting her through the torture of watching STD. She's outside. She's outside for this. Greetings, Wes. Anyway, guys, I will come back to the chat once we're done with the review. So the anomaly just disappeared, reappeared 4 seconds later, 100,000 light years away. For some reason, this is against the laws of physics. I don't know why. So they're like, isn't this against the laws of physics? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. All the known laws anyway. Well, why is it that You can have unstable wormholes, wormholes stable on one side but not the other. Why is it you can have the Nexus flying through space at faster than light speeds? And none of these things are against the laws of physics. But this particular thing, this is against the laws of physics. That's bullshit. There's no reason it shouldn't be able to exist, considering everything else that exists as a result of physics in the Star Trek universe. But they just wanted a way to make us, to let us know that this was an intelligent design. It was a man-made anomaly, not a space-made, naturally occurring thing, which is just kind of bullshit. Anyway, it's headed towards this. Place. They're 4 hours away, and it's called, what's it called? Revcos. The Radford chain. The Radford chain. That's actually, they said Radvik 5 of the Radvik chain. It turns out it's just like some asteroids with a 1,200 person colony. Now, like, why do you need 5 starships to evacuate 1,200 people? The Enterprise D alone could have evacuated 1,200 people in less than 4 hours. Apparently, technology has gone backwards so much that the Discovery takes lead in the evacuation of the colonists. So all these other ships, future ships, that should be 1,000 years more advanced than the Discovery, and nobody can beam up more than 40 people at a time, which is what Discovery is able to beam up. It's a ridiculous bullshit fantasy. I mean, just 100 years after Discovery, the Enterprise D could have done a 1,200. The Enterprise D could have done 10,000 people, let alone 1,000, and it's complete. It's chaos. It's chaos. In fact, Admiral Vance of Vance Refrigeration says that only the Federation, even though this isn't a Federation world, only the Federation is big enough, or Starfleet is big enough, to do a mission this big. It is, it makes 0 sense. 0 sense whatsoever. They may not be Federation members, but the only body was able to make a body this size, an operation this size. And Saru wants to know if they're going to address the panic now that this isn't a natural phenomenon. Why? Who's going to be worried about that? The Kaminar Ohio Council has already had fear in their voices. They're desperate for answers. So federations that could be behind this. The Metrons, the Scene, surviving members of the Iconian Empire, the Q Continuum, but no contact from the Q in 600 years. Okay, so 600 years. I'm guessing that's the time of Picard season 2. So Picard season 2, that's the last time we hear from the Q. Isn't that interesting? So they've just killed the Q. They have killed the Q for the next 600 years. The fuckers. How dare they? Why do they even throw this in? Okay, either you have to just completely ignore it, which I think we all will do, or if you try to follow track continuity now, you fucked yourselves. This is what I was afraid of. This is what I was afraid of. If they go to the future, I said now in one line, they can fuck us. And that's what they did. They just fucked us over. Fuck you. How dare you? Don't have the authority to erase the Q for 600 years. You little assholes and twats as writers. How dare you? How dare you think you have the power to delete the Q? You don't. It is bullshit. It is bullshit. Anyway, Burnham wants to save lives on Redbeck 5, and her boyfriend, Book, it's like, oh, I have to help, even if it's just to make sure no one else has to go through what I went through. Well, Book and Michael, they're so busy, they couldn't be bothered to walk to the bridge. They had to beam to the bridge. It turns on Ruan Tarka is on the ship. Who's Ruan Tarka? I never heard of him either. But apparently he's the smartest person in the Federation. He is the Albert Einstein of the Federation. And Stamets hates him because he doesn't give a shit about Stamets. Stamets tried to talk to him, and this guy never wants to talk to Stamets. He always goes through Aurelio, who was the guy in the hover chair that was with Osiris last season from the Emerald Chain. So Aurelio and Ruan Tarka are trying to do all the science projects that Stamets is working on independently on Discovery. Anyway. What do we got? Yeah, so we have 4 hours to get 1,200 people off. Then they say, hey, we got sensors that show 6 people aren't moving. And yeah, it turns out that's their prison. They're leaving 6 prisoners behind as an example. And they're like, well, Michael's like, you can't do that. We've got to help them because that's what the Federation does. And they're like, no, you don't, because everybody already left the prison and we're not going back. And so Michael just lets them leave. I don't understand why. There's got to be when we see this prison later on, it's clearly built for more than 6 people. So Michael's like, this is a Federation mission. No one will be left behind. He's like, it's too late. Everybody who left knows how to run it left already. So Michael decides that she's going to go to the prison ourselves to save the people. Well, how many people do you think she takes to rescue 6 prisoners that she knows nothing about? Because if it was me going to rescue prisoners and there's only 6 of them, you can be damn sure I'm going with 2 to 1. I'm going to take 12 people for the 6 that are there, because that just makes normal sense. Well, you know what she decides to take? 2 people for 6 prisoners. So at that point, I knew that the prisoners she was going to go get just happened to be, they were just going to happen to be in the wrong spot at the wrong time, and they were all going to be really good people. These prisoners weren't going to be assholes. These prisoners weren't going to be, hate crime. Imagine if she got there and she's like, "What did you do?" And he's like, "I just kill, aliens that are darker than me. Or I just kill aliens that like the same genitals as me." Yeah. If that was there, she'd be screwed up. But no, she gets there and they're like, "What did you do?" "I stole bread to feed my family." And so, she just talked loud when there was a man around. And that's why they all got arrested. And of course, they all feel really sorry for what they did. And they all want asylum. But they don't know how to ask for asylum. But Michael says, well, you can always ask for asylum once you get to Discovery. Because they don't want to go back. They don't want to leave if they're just going to die. They'd rather just die now than to be rescued and go back into prison. Anyway, it's you couldn't make it more ridiculous. Of course, there's a shield that blocks the comms. And once they get inside that shield, they trying to find the defense system. But instead, she finds a giant beetle. Well, it turns out the beetle is the defense system. The beetles are landmines. For whatever reason, the beetle she touches doesn't blow up. But then it tries to launch this disc at her. And for whatever reason, the disc decides to slowly eat through random pieces of concrete and trees to slow its way before getting to Michael. If it had been allowed to just get to Michael, she'd be dead, Book would be dead. But for reasons, they just let it stop. In the middle of all this, Zora, the Discovery's computer, Zora, we forget, or maybe we don't. I don't, but we're supposed to forget. Zora is a sentient life form. And we're not supposed to wonder why they're allowing that to happen. The computer of the Discovery is evolving. And in this episode, the computer is talking with Michael, and Michael's like, "I didn't realize you had feelings, Zora." And Zora's like, "Yeah, it's a recent occurrence." So the computer of the Discovery has evolved faster than Data ever did, and was able to evolve emotion completely on its own, without an emotions chip or anything like that. And nobody seems worried by this. They all allow it to happen. Yes, the Beatles are landmines, and they launch a tunneling landmine for when it has to. No, Professor, this is This isn't VLC. This is what's this called? Media player, whatever, something old. Media player classic, MPC. Culber and Stamets. Culber is having an existential breakdown because he keeps helping people, but he's the one who's desperately in need of help this episode. He can't stop helping people. This double duty, though, as both a doctor and he's not chief medical officer. He's a medical officer, but he is the chief therapist for the ship. It's too much. It's too much for him. He needs help. And Dr. Kovich, he explains to Culber all the issues he has. So this is the prison. This is the prison. This is Culber talking to Dr. Kovich. Anyway, so he's talking to Dr. Kovich. Dr. Kovich is like, listen, I don't have a lot of time. I made 10 minutes. You got 10 minutes. He's like, I don't know what I need. He's like, well, you got 8 minutes now. You need brutal honesty. And he says, well, you died. You died. You're one of very few people who've ever lived and died and lived again. That's what your problem is. And you have a messiah complex. He gave it out to him, said it full out. He needs to find a reason for his survival. So this is in the prison. This is Michael knocking down all the shields at once. And this guy, of course, he's there. He's the number one most moral person of them all. This is Ruan Takra. So Ruan Takra, I am 99% sure he's the one responsible for the anomoly. I think he built this for somebody before the burn. And now afterwards he sees his work is being used. And he knows this because he comes on the ship and he already has a prototype that's small enough that the ship can deal with. So he has a small prototype of the anomoly. Now he makes it like he just built it, but that makes no sense. It makes more sense that he built it years ago. So okay. So Anyway, of the prisoners they capture, or not capture, they take, it turns out one of them actually did kill a man. But of course, he's really feels really sad about it. And that's the guy I said. He's the most moral of all the prisoners. It's this guy. Anyway, it turns out he did kill a man who was nice to him. He was trying to rob the guy. He wasn't intending on killing him. And then there are species that carries their family tree. They carry their family tree in this orb. Anyway, he didn't realize he was stealing the family's orb. And by stealing the family's history, he really fucked over the daughter. Now, killing her father, that wasn't bad enough. But it was far worse that he took her orb. So, even though he saved the orb for 30 years in prison, somehow, and you know, there's only one place people in prison can stick something that it really, really protects it. So we know this orb was up his ass. He has this ass orb now. And he asks Michael Burnham to please take it. He doesn't tell Michael the name of the person he stole it from. And she doesn't ask. He just wants her to take care of it for another 30 years, like he has. So Michael doesn't ask, oh, well, maybe I can return it to the family. Nor does he say, you know, why don't you return it to the family I stole it from? She just takes it. It's not until they find out that he's going to die that the anomaly is going to strike the planet he's decided to stay on, or the asteroid he decided to stay on, and he only has 4 more minutes to live. Does she say, oh, by the way, what was the name of the person you took this from? And he's like, oh, it's Doxima or something. And then he dies. And then, of course, we see Michael talking with Zora, and Zora finds this woman now, who's a grown woman, that was, her father was killed when she was 9 or something. Anyway, Michael finds her because she happens to be on the Discovery, of course. And Michael says, I believe this is yours, and just hands it to her without explanation. Without explanation. She's like, where did you get this? Michael doesn't tell her. Michael doesn't tell her that, oh, the guy who killed your father gave it to me to give it back to you. No, just she's like, I don't know, but here it's yours. And so she presses it, and she's very happy. Don't get me wrong, she's just happy enough to know she has it back. But at no point do they tell her where it came from. So Stamets is talking about how Ruan Takra is all single-minded about his work, and he realizes that's exactly how he feels. We get this big happy moment in bed at the end for Stamets and Dr. Culber. And this is where Zora explains she can figure out emotions. And nobody cares that the computer has grown to be emotional. This is the woman. That's the orb. That's the orb. She thought it was lost years ago. How did you find it? She's just helping somebody keep a promise. And there it is. It's literally your family tree. I wasn't joking. You're literally has your family tree in an orb. I mean, Ancestry.com could put advertising revenue on this thing and it wouldn't be any better. It couldn't have been any better. And Michael's just so happy she brought some closure to this girl's world. Michael suggested she have a baby. So now this woman's going to go out and probably get knocked up that night since Michael suggested it. Ruan Takra, he likes Book better than Stamets. He wants to learn Book's way of controlling the spore drive, no doubt, rather than Stamets, which is fine. I think I could understand that. A man only gets as close as you did when he has some idea what's over the cliff. So he said, so who made it? He said he doesn't know yet, but he could have told him it wasn't the Metrons or the Iconians or the Q continuum. Why experiment? Why risk the lives of everyone on board? Science has many purposes. Try again, says Book. He constructed the model of the DMA controller at a scale of 10 to the negative 70th. Some number, 2.22 times 10 to the negative 70th. And it still requires more power than all of Discovery could muster. So that means the actual full-size DMA is taking power from something at least as powerful as a hypergiant. He says maybe they are gods, and Book takes. Well, he says they're not gods. They're not gods. And that was basically it. We had Michael and Book be the ones to rescue prisoners. Of course, they were great prisoners, happy prisoners, prisoners you really feel bad for. Had they been really angry, violent prisoners, they would have been totally fucked. Orville would have given us that. Orville would have given us really mean prisoners that we would have been like, maybe we do want them to die. But of course, Star Trek Discovery, they give us prisoners that you know ahead of time are going to be, well, very swell people. And you just knew that they got a bum deal in life. Where do we go? Yeah, we'll leave you up. Anyway, so with that, let me go check the chats. because it is downloaded from one of those sites, because I can't stupid CBS All Access decided they don't let me show it up. It won't display anymore on the screen. So I've got to download it from one of those sites to get still images. Okay. I'm checking super chats now. And Mamo Pray, we did get a happy birthday $5 donation from John D for you. Then, hello world, it's late Pray 5. Qapla, welcome to my review of STD Season 4. How do you get that many? Episode 5, the examples of how not to do Star Trek. Thank you, Professor Brainy Specs, for a $5 donation. And the Random Menace donated $15. Wishing happy birthdays means we're getting older, and I refuse to do just that. And I understand Mom refuses it too. So instead, I wish Mamo Pray instead many more happy revolutions around the sun. Mamo Pray likes that very much, Joseph. Thank you. Thank you very much. Professor, that video player is a Media Player Classic. VLC was something I was playing locally. You couldn't see it. Wesley Crusher says hi to Captain Trek. Hello, Captain. Yeah, beetles were landmines. Let me see if I can find you a scene where the beetles are landmines. Here we go. So Reese was really interested. Reese was really interested in taking charge of the refugees that beam up. So Michael gave that to him, and basically made him. It didn't make him, but basically never let him forget it. Like, yes, you can thank me. I give you, yeah, you can thank me. There it is. There it is. There's your landmine. There's a lot of them coming this way. Oh, this guy likes to play with his food. He ordered mashed potatoes and a pea, so he could give us an example of how the anomoly works on the screen of the Discovery. Now, why, when you can do 3D holograms, do you need to use mashed potatoes? I don't know. I don't. Let's see. Okay, so in this, Michael's got to call back all of the beetles, so the beetles can be used to blow up the front door, which locked behind them. once they all tried to head out, it shut behind them. So now she has to call all the beetles back, and that'll let them leave. And it does. It does, of course. There it is. All those landmines blew up at once. And there's the ones that change and come after you. Yeah, they just randomly lock into the ground. That's fine. Executive producer Saul Leibowitz says, Qapla Bird of Prey, do they have Space Border Patrol and Starfleet Homeland Security in the 33rd and the 3rd century? You know, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Pay attention to Super Chats. I will do my best, Professor. CDJ says, years from now, people will be saying, I'm just going to the restroom for a quick discovery. That's how crap it is. Do I need drugs in order to watch a disco? You don't need them, I suppose, but it helps. And thank you, Professor. No, Dr. Kovich. Dr. Kovich. Not Dr. COVID. Anyway, guys, thank you all for coming. Mama Bray thanks everyone who wished her a happy birthday. I just needed to get this out there. I am not sure what I'll be doing. I strongly hope I will be able to stay home. But if I do end up at the hospital, I will let you guys know via Twitter. Wesley Crushers is happy Mama Pray Day. Best mom in Karoga. Thank you, Wesley. Thank you. Stargate replicators? I don't think so. This means something. Yes. Yes, that's what I thought too. And building something with the mashed potatoes. UHF callback. Qapla, later Gators. And that's probably my doctor. It is a doctor. Qapla all, take care. Hello. Hi. But wait, there's more. The video might be over, but there's more fun to be had. First, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel and have clicked that bell icon to get notifications of new videos in your YouTube feed. Share this video on social media to help this channel fight the algorithm that favors big media. Also check out www.birdoprey5.com for links to my other channels, various social media accounts, merch store, Dear Bop, affiliate links, and all your Birdo Prey 5 needs. At the main Birdo Prey 5 YouTube channel, you can find all sorts of live streams and unlisted videos, YouTube membership options, and a community section with polls and updates on the channel. On the secondary channel, Birdo Prey 5X, you can find overflow content that doesn't always make the main channel. Subscribe to both channels, please. Thanks for watching. Remember, I stream almost every day. This is Birdo Prey 5 saying goodbye, world! Until next time. P.S. Hail Sassy, hail Charlie, and of course, hail Kuroga.